Okay. Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, definitely. I see you right now. All right, awesome.
Well, good afternoon. At least good afternoon for me. How is everybody today? Good to see you all. Appreciate all of you being here. Let's say hi to all the friends that are in chat. Man, Sebastian, Seba, first place, very nice. And Brigsbee, hey, P2, why not? That's good. We got Deep in P3. That's a good looking podium. I think that's a first for a podium that looks like that. Squeezy, good to see you. Tangy, good to see you as well. Edward, great to see you. Venus, thank you already for the donation, the $1.49. Appreciate that very much. You absolute stud, you. Let's see. We got Philness and number 2. Hello, daughter. Philness, great to see you. BL, great to see you as well. Moto, what's up, lad? It's good to see you, man. Hello, Stream Elements, great to see you here as well. Jake TV, great to have you here, bud. Mr. Warhawk, excellent to see you as well. You guys are making me have to catch up to a lot here. Summertime Temps, yep. Sonic the Hedgehog 24, good morning to you. Excellent to have you here. Okay, so I think I'm all caught up. Yes, we indeed have a Learn with Lead today. Pretty sweet stuff, isn't it? We like it. We like it. So, without further delay, let's go ahead and bring our guest in here, who's making his presence known. Go ahead and get onto the right side of me here, Briggs, so they can see your beautiful Viper over there. Let's do that, huh? All right.
It's
so
just a blacked out Viper.
I tell you what, there isn't too much wrong with that. I don't think think at all. All right. So we're sitting here at Daytona. We're gonna say hi to our friend Briggs. Let's see. Everyone can hear Briggs, right? We're good now.
Test.
Yeah. Yep. Okay. Excellent. So let's get. Yeah, you're right, Venus. You're right. Let's get the. Oh, I can't do it yet. Hang on. We'll switch the screens
everyone.
there. But yeah, great to have you, Briggs. I was super excited when you reached out to do a Learn with Lead. Let's take a little bit of time here, and a lot of folks in chat already know you. Maybe there's a handful that don't, but we always want to put at least a voice and a personality to the folks that we see in chat, right? So
definitely.
Perhaps you've only seen him in chat. Perhaps Brigsbee has raided a channel near you. You never know. He's kind of a raider, to be sure. But we'll get into some of that here in a little bit. But so Briggs, tell us a little bit about your video game racing background. Like, what kind of stuff have you gotten into?
Yeah, so I've pretty much started out when I was really young on the Atari with pole position, and then
right
from there it was a long break until the first Gran Turismo came out.
Yeah.
And my brother-in-law was actually the one that showed me about Gran Turismo because he got it on day one, and I started playing it. Yeah, the very first one. And he's got me into it. I started racing with him, and it's been GT pretty much all the time ever since. Yeah, definitely. Of course, I do like other games too, but main thing for me has been racing ever since '97.
Very good. Yeah. So I just want to make sure we see here. We got everybody going buzz in the chat. Buzz, heckin' buzz. It's wonderful, guys. Real quick, say hi to Red Shot. Good to see you, friend. And Saragon, you just popped in as well. Good to see you, bud. Excellent. So you dabbled with a lot of different racing games. I love, I don't know if BL heard that, but BL played the heck out of Pole Position back on Atari.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Nice.
For those who don't know, BL is my mother. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, so that's a little backstory there. But so I definitely played some Pole Position too. Back when you had to hold the you had to cradle the controller and you had the joystick on the top, and oh man.
Oh yeah, definitely.
My, how far we have come, huh?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's crazy because I went from Pole Position, and then Super Nintendo came out, and it was Nigel Mansell's Super Formula race. That I forgot what the exact name of the game was, but it was a Nigel Mansell game on Super Nintendo. And then long break, and then bam, and straight into Gran Turismo once 97 came along.
Yeah, gotcha. And basically haven't looked back, right? Have you played every Gran Turismo game that's ever come out?
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, every single Gran Turismo that's ever been out.
That's fantastic. That really is. Real quick, say hi to David, Nuggenetics. Good to see you guys. Yep, Atari 5200. No doubt. Yeah, man. Okay, so let's see. So played every GT game, but what game? When did you start playing online? Because online kind of started like with GT4 or GT5, I think. But when did you actually get going online?
For me personally, I didn't actually start online until GT Sport, actually.
Okay.
I did have a little period of messing around a little bit on GT6, but I didn't really... I was working so much at that time that I didn't have any time. I was working like 3 jobs at the time.
Oh, yeah. No, there's not a lot of time for anything else then, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, that makes sense. So, so GT Sport, you got into you started doing sport mode in GT Sport, is that right?
Actually, on GT Sport, I started out doing drifting because for some crazy reason I wanted to try drifting, and I wasn't any good at it, and I got okay at it, but then I don't know, it just went downhill, and I was like, okay, I'm done with this, and went back to racing again.
Yeah, gotcha. Drifting's fun. Yeah. Drifting's hard in Gran Turismo. Yeah. You gotta you gotta know your stuff. I'm not very good at it. I'd like to get better at it, but I'd also I think something that will help me just, for free, it would be to actually have a handbrake, a physical handbrake as part of my rig, rather than like the O button on my when you're turning the wheel like 90 degrees or 180 degrees, you can't find the O button, and you're like, no.
Definitely. Yeah, you got to be able to spin that wheel really fast.
Right.
But at the time I was doing drifting, it was all on controller because I didn't even really get on wheel until about a year ago.
Okay, so you've only been on the wheel for a year. Interesting.
Yeah, maybe a year and a half. I'm not quite sure, but somewhere around there.
Okay, that's right. Yeah, and you told me you did GT7 first on the controller.
Yeah.
And then switched over to wheel. So let the folks know what you use.
So right now I'm currently using a Logitech G29 when I have my pedals all upgraded with stronger springs and a brake mod upgrade. Just a rubber block stopper is upgraded, so it's a stiffer pedals to simulate a load cell, though it isn't a load cell. But
gotcha.
Yeah, that's pretty much as far as the wheel goes. And then my rig is a Playseat Challenge, but it's got some flex to it when I turn and stuff. But I've been able to work with it. But hopefully in the future here we'll be able to upgrade something better.
Yeah, and that is something that, just for everyone to know, it's something that Briggs and I talked about already, was you really want zero flex in your rig when you're braking, when you're turning or anything like that, and just for consistency, because you can feel like you're doing the same thing, in the turn, but
Yep.
you can't control how much your rig is moving underneath you. Even if it's just a little bit, it makes a huge difference. So yeah, definitely recommend doing that as you know, as the monies allow.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
So you mentioned to me too, like around that time, there was an update, and there was the time where you switched over to wheel, where you felt like you regressed as a racer, right? You kind of got not as good. Maybe talk to the folks about that some.
Yeah, exactly. So it was actually update 1.26. I had played on controller up until then, and then once update 1.26 came out, I started transitioning over to wheel, bouncing back and forth between wheel and controller because I was still more used to controller than I was with wheel at the time. Funny story too, because people thought that I was on wheel when I was using my controller because at that time, the way that I was able to brake, because I was still on PS4, so the controllers were a bit different.
Yep.
So the way that I would brake, I would be able to actually trail brake while I was on controller. Most people use the tip of their finger, but what I would use is like a drop choke up on my finger a bit.
Yes.
So it's like kind of where my knuckle is where I would use to be able to trail brake a little better. So I think that's why some people thought that I was on wheels sometimes, but
got it.
Yeah, and then but yeah, so the update happened, and then my rank started going down and down and down, and then
because you were up to a high B, low A, correct?
Yeah, I was high B. I never made A at the time, but I was like on the tip of it. Like every time I got into a lobby to upgrade to an A driver would knock me off of the track, and then I wouldn't be able to get up there because they don't like you passing them, I guess. But,
and they don't like you in A, I guess. So, hey, get this guy back in B. He doesn't belong here. Okay, exactly. Gotcha. Just the way you said that, it kind of cracked me up. Oh, man. Okay, interesting. So, you've so we go a couple directions here, but real quick, I do want to say hi to Chris Wood. Great to see you guys, and everybody who's coming over from Brigsbee's community. Appreciate all of you stopping by. I see the sub count going up as well, so you guys are awesome. Thank you so much.
Awesome.
Helping us get to that 1,000 subscriber mark. So that means
let's get them there, Beehive.
that means a metric ton. Everybody, really do appreciate that. So let's talk about your name a little bit. So Brigsbee is not a name that you just see all over the place. So what's going on with that here?
Yeah, so it's a pretty funny story. So there's an old cartoon called The Secret of Nim, and one of the main characters in there is Jonathan Brigsbee. And my brother-in-law would always call me that all the time. He'd be all like, Jonathan Brigsbee? And I always thought he was saying Brigsbee with a G instead of an S. So when I came around to create my channel, I was thinking of different names. First, I was going to use Lone Wolf, but then I was like, there's too many wolves out there.
Yeah.
And then for some reason, I was like, all right, well, my brother-in-law got me into Gran Turismo. I'm streaming doing Gran Turismo. I might as well as pay homage to him and use the Brigsbee name. And then so I created Brigsbee.
How about that?
Yeah, and that's pretty much where it came from. Because
yeah. Now we see you have you told me about the spelling change as well, right? Because right now we're looking at your Gran Turismo name right now. It's spelled with a Y at the end, but you changed it, right? How did that happen?
Yeah, so when I first started, it was with the Y at the end, but I was in someone's stream and they had a chat reader, and they kept calling me Brigsbee, and I was like,
what is that?
That's not my name. I'm like, what's Brigsbee? That's not my name. And then I was like, all right, you know what? I'm gonna put 2 E's at the end and see what happened. And then I did that, and then all of a sudden it actually pronounced my name correctly. So it just stuck from there, and then the community ended up nicknaming me B. So that's where the whole B thing came from.
The whole beehive. The buzz, all of that, just from a little spelling change. That's pretty wild.
Yeah, seriously.
Oh, man. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, everything that's today is just from that little change.
Yeah. So let me ask you a few questions. I appreciate you sharing that with us. Let me ask you a few questions regarding racing and your experience on Gran Turismo. So,
yep.
Specifically sport mode, online racing. So we've got you know, it's pretty rough out there a little bit. You got folks, you know, it's one thing to race the AI in the game who are pretty much you can pretty much take the eye out of the artificial intelligence. They're not smart. I mean, Sophie AI is different. That's pretty tough. But so let me ask you a little bit about your qualifying times and your race pace, basically. So when you are trying to put up a quali time, how close are you able to get to the top time in the world?
So to the top time in the world, probably way far. But what I've actually compare my times to is Rory Alexander, actually.
Okay.
Because when I first started streaming, I was always 2 seconds off of his lap times. Now I've dropped back to like 3, maybe 5 seconds even.
Okay.
Sometimes.
And Rory is about a second off of the top time pretty often.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Yeah, that's not quick enough. That's not quick enough.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, if you're, you know, that would explain some of why, you know, you got knocked down to you know, C, low B, kind of in that range.
Yeah, definitely.
Hang on, I gotta read this here from EFC. He says, "Tell Briggs to stop calling me Gaburk."
It's funny. That's a funny thing because we say Gaburk like a chicken.
Oh no!
But it's a running joke we have in the community.
Okay, gotcha. Very nice.
He likes it more than he says.
I believe it. I believe it. Cool stuff. Okay. So to me, what that's telling me a little bit here is that we need to make sure that your approach to a track is, you know, correct, or as correct as possible. Now, you mentioned that you use no assist whatsoever. I might have you turn on an assist or two today just to see a couple things. So what I would like you to turn on right now is the driving marker assist, if you wouldn't mind. So that's I don't call that really a driving assist. That's like a track assist. But
definitely.
I would like you to throw those on there because they're going to help us a little bit with where our apexes are. So we're going to spend some time on Daytona, friends, and for you, you know, for those of you who've been doing race C, this might be helpful for you. But the plan is also to go to Suzuka, because Suzuka has a little bit of everything. It's got fast corners, it's got hairpins, it's got chicanes, it's got late apex corners, it's got Degna 1 and Degna 2, which are really interesting. So we're kind of, Daytona's great, but it's got some limitations. I mean, there are a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sectors in which you need to brake, which for a track, that's actually not a lot. So yep. So good to see you, Stunt. Awesome to have you here. Appreciate you, bud. Okay, so what we're going to do then is we're going to talk through each of these corners here and talk about how we want to approach them. So you have the driving marker up, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and take the lead. You go ahead and follow me here.
All right.
And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna stop at our braking point basically each time. Okay. So my braking spot is right here, just as I'm passing this last white line on the ground there. And if you look at the track map real quick, you'll see that we have really it's a very long left-hander that is tighter than 90 degrees. So what we always say about a corner that is more than 90 degrees is we always have to think late apex in that scenario. This is almost 100% of the time true, except when there is an immediate turn of a different direction following the corner. So yeah, so if that makes sense. So so look at our driving markers for a moment, Briggs, and you'll see we've got one that's tight to the left, and then we actually what's that?
Oh, I was asking if you need me back up or...
No, you're fine where you are.
Oh, okay.
You should be able to see those driving markers, the yellow pins there.
Yeah.
So we have one on the left, and then we have one in the distance that's actually not an apex, it's a turn-in, right?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So now the driving markers aren't perfect. They're an assist, so they're there to be used if needed, that sort of thing. So technically, I don't like to go tight to the first one there. I'm gonna go ahead and roll real slowly here. You can follow me. What I'm trying to do is actually late apex this corner. So that means I want to be as wide as I possibly can. So ideally, if I braked properly, my momentum, I'm gonna stop here. My momentum is gonna pull me all the way out to here.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Now what that's doing is it's setting up for the turn to the left here, and it's gonna make the car straighter.
Okay.
As we're exiting. So let's go ahead and slow-mo this. So we're down in the second gear by now. We're turning, we're turning, we're turning. And the idea is to be able to get on the throttle as early as now. Right here.
Yeah.
Maybe not full throttle, probably not, especially with the Viper, probably not full throttle. But
yeah, definitely.
But yeah, this is the idea right here. And what we're trying to do, especially with a car like the Viper where the back end wants to peel out on you, we're trying to avoid that, and by taking that wider entrance, we're limiting our steering angle, which limits the possibility of the back end coming out. And that's really true of all corners, right? I mean, that's really what we're always trying to do. But there is there's a tendency, and anyone in chat that's looking at this, maybe this would resonate with you as well. There's a tendency to dive towards the apex too soon in many cases. It feels fast to go that way, but it's not. That's actually slower because you're carrying less momentum into the apex when you do that. Real quick, I need to say thank you to GP Racer for becoming a member of the Stud Club. Welcome, bud. Yeah, you studded up is right. Appreciate that, friend, very much. That's awesome.
Very awesome.
So that's basically So any differences or anything that you were doing different to approach this corner at all?
Oh yeah, definitely. I was doing a lot different. Like I would end up.
Yeah, let me get behind you.
Too tight.
I'll get behind you, and you can demonstrate.
Yeah, let's go all the way back to the braking, because even my braking has been different.
Okay.
Let's see.
You have good reverse prowess.
I'm just being cautious. So this little black box right here is what I've been using for a braking marker. Actually,
I gotcha.
As soon as I see it, I hit my brake, and then so I guess that's something a little different, because you said you break up here at the end of this line.
So let's talk a little bit about why that works. So if you end up with a narrower line, then you actually have to brake earlier than what I'm doing there.
Okay.
If you have a wider line, you can take more of that braking zone into the width of the track, which and then you turn in. So that allows you to brake later, actually, is how that works. So.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense, because what I was doing was I would, from that braking marker, I would shoot in like this instead of going wider. I would come here, and because I thought it was more of a double apex I'm supposed to be doing kind of thing, even though there's not really an apex right there. But I would go in, certainly, come out, and then swing back in.
If it's a defensive line that you want to take, then that tighter one would be fine, you know. But if we're trying to maximize the speed in our laps, then this wider line is definitely better. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I'm talking practice, just knowing around, and I'm just doing laps. That's how I would take it before. So
yeah,
I think that'll definitely help.
Yep. So once again, then we're getting here. Do you use any first gear for this? For this
sometimes
turn?
I do. It really depends on the car. But the way my mind works, it's weird. Sometimes I'll slap first gear on accident.
Yeah,
just because my finger will twitch or something.
Yeah, but I understand that.
Yeah, it's my nerves. I just got to get more used to it, I believe, is what the issue is.
C Turbo 26, great to have you here, friend. Awesome for you to stop by. Appreciate it. Okay, so let's then go to the next main corner. On exit, we actually shouldn't be too afraid to go wide out like this. That's pretty important, actually. If you've carried the speed through there, you'll actually want to be out there.
All
right, so braking spot for here is kind of tough. I kind of take it in between the two poles here.
I actually use this marker that's right behind you, the mark on the ground.
There's like on the grass or
right there on the pavement.
Right behind me.
Yeah, it's right behind you.
I see it.
I'm
on it right now. I see it. Okay, that's a good spot. I like that. I haven't noticed that before, so that's a good spot.
Oh, okay, cool.
Okay. All right, so we're trying to break in a straight line. Now, look at the map once again.
Yeah.
We have it's basically a 180-degree turn. It's very close to that. So this needs to be an ultra late apex, basically.
Yeah.
And that's going to straighten our exit as well. So we're going in, we're in third, second gear, and we're turning not too tightly too soon, right? We're coming in like this. So look, so you see the driving marker right here?
Yeah.
See that right there? I actually like to think of the apex as a little bit later than that. But I will say this. Look at this little indentation right here in the curbing. See how it's straight right here? I kind of use that as a marker, a visual for like, okay, right about here is where I want to start being on the throttle.
Yeah.
And really trying to not go too wide too soon here. I'm trying to tighten it so then I can exit just like this.
Oh, okay.
And because the track allows you to go this wide, I take full advantage of that as well.
Okay.
Any differences or thoughts on that one?
Actually, it was the exit for me there that was a little different because I was afraid of going over that white line because I thought that would give me a penalty.
Okay. Yep. So, it won't.
Yeah, that'll definitely help out there for sure.
Excellent. All right, we have another 180-degree turn coming up. This is a full flat-out section. You definitely want to turn in early enough here.
Yeah.
You want to be turning in early enough so that you clip this inside curb. If you don't, you actually might end up going too wide and have to lift. So that's no good.
Yeah.
All right. Breaking point for here is there are these asphalt marks on the left here where they're running parallel to the left. I use that first set of parallel ones to as a brake marker right where I am right now.
Oh, okay. Then I was braking too late here because I would wait until I get to where the yellow and white is right there, where the apex is.
Well, I'll tell you what. Now, we should mention, how you take a previous corner will affect how you take the next corner. So I'll say this: if your exit speed for the previous corner wasn't that great, then maybe you're hitting this spot, 5 miles per hour slower or more, and that break point would be fine for you. But if you end up carrying more speed out of the previous corner, that might be too late, honestly. So that might make that. And it's important for everybody, honestly, in chat too. You know, I'll say this to I'll self-deprecate myself a little bit, right? So you know, a lot of us know Tijani. A lot of us have seen his lap guides and all of that. And there was, I forget which one it was, but he gave this brake marker, and I'm going, this is way too early. What's he talking about? And I'm going, he's dumb. You know, in my head I'm thinking he's not doing this right. Like, I can brake way later and be fine. Well, it turned out he was much faster on the previous corner. So I was hitting it about 10 miles per hour slower than he was. So no wonder I could brake later and make it, right? So when I finally got that previous corner much better, I was like, oh, I'm the moron, not him. So,
right. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it definitely does make a big difference. Just little teeny tiny things that could just improve your time.
Yes. Yeah, no doubt. Hey, G, good to see you. Fear No Gears. I can't remember if I said hello to you as well. Great to see you guys. Okay, so yeah, we're braking here, and we're braking in a straight line. We're probably in 5th, I think. So we are banging down the gears.
Yeah.
And we're going for that nice late turn in again. So we're out here, but we're turning in. We're in 2nd, and so, most of the time I like to slam it into 1st for just a second to get that extra rotation. And I'm trying to exit. I'm trying to be on the throttle, actually more by where you are right now is where I'm trying to be on the throttle.
Okay, that makes sense, because when I went around this track with Mullet and he was explaining it to me, right here is where he told me get on the throttle also.
But it only works as if you have that late turn in, late apex.
Yeah, definitely.
Because if you're too tight, then you're gonna have to wait for the car to rotate to really get on the throttle. So just as a reminder for everybody as well. So if we are taking a turn, any turn, okay, and after we hit the apex, we get on the throttle, and then in order to make the corner we have to lift, we've done it wrong. That should be an indicator to all of us that if we have to lift after we've already applied the throttle, we have made a mistake, because we do not want to be lifting on the exit of a corner. So because we've just killed ourselves, we've killed our time basically. So that's definitely very critical there. Okay, very critical turn coming up here, and for this one I'm going to use the apex visualizer. I'm going to stop just a little early so that my red arrow on the map doesn't mess it up here. So just real quick, we see looking at this that we have a what is just barely beyond a 90-degree left turn, okay? Which then has an extra little kink into it because we're getting onto the oval part of the track, right? So after this we have a long flat out section. How do we want to take this? What we don't want to do is end up getting to the apex too soon and delaying our application of the throttle. So I'm gonna throw this up for everyone to see real quick.
Okay.
And there might be a little delay for you, Briggs.
That's all right.
But yeah, so I'm gonna throw it up here. So this is, it's 180. Here's about 90 degrees. So the turn we're talking about is slightly more than 90. We'll call it right about there. And essentially this is what we're trying to do. So you see how there is more curve going into the apex than the curve on exit.
Yeah.
So we're doing the job of rotating the car before we get to the apex. A lot of times an error that people make is they'll come through shallower, like where my marker is that I'm moving right now. They'll come in shallower, hit the apex a little bit sooner, and then have to wait to get on this throttle until about here.
Yeah.
Whereas you see the color coding here, we have the yellow This is where we're trail braking off, which I know you mentioned you wanted to work on, something that you know you need to work on. So we'll get to that. So we're going from full brake to trailing off and being able to get on the throttle right around the apex. That's exactly what we want to be doing. Okay.
Yeah.
So let me slide back to the regular screen here. So so that's what we're going to do. So we will do that here in super slow-mo. We're on the brakes.
Okay.
I like to brake right about here in between these two patches on the pavement.
Okay.
It is very key. Is that much different than yours, or where are you trying to brake?
Yeah, it's much different than mine because I would go by here.
Okay.
The point of this apex.
Gotcha. I think, again, that's probably your exit speed out of the previous corner is allowing you to do that.
Oh, okay.
That's going to be my guess. So we're going to brake in a straight line, and we want to stay wide. So this is kind of a narrower part of the track, actually. So we kind of have to use this curbing and use this extra beyond the white line. And you see how now I'm turning in here. I'm turning in now. I'm getting the car turned. I'm still braking, but my goal for this is to be on the throttle by this point here.
Okay. Oh wow, that's a lot earlier than I do because I usually wait until I'm really rotated.
Right, because you have to wait for it to rotate. But that's why we're doing the job of rotating it early so that we can get the car pointed where we want it. Now again, it's the Viper, and a lot of cars aren't going to take, especially Group 3 cars, they're not going to take getting on the throttle fully immediately. You know, the all-wheel drive GTR, absolutely, it'll do it for days, no problem. But this,
definitely.
so, but at least on the throttle, finding the grip at this point. Okay, so now on the throttle, we're in second gear, we're moving our way out, so we are going to end up tracking out about this wide.
Okay.
We don't necessarily, our momentum may take us all the way out here, but this is actually faster. And if you end up here, it's actually really good because you get a little bit of downhill for this portion right here, okay?
Yeah.
I have noticed,
That makes sense.
I've noticed when racing, you know, time trialing against myself, sometimes when I go wide, I end up losing time. And then when I go on the downhill, I actually start catching my time because of that little extra downhill that it gives us. All right, let's talk about where we are braking here. So the Viper tends to have some really good brakes, and I end up braking right about this white line right here, in between the number 1 and number 2. Is that comparable to your spot?
My spot is pretty much the same, but just a little bit earlier. This black box again is what I use for my braking marker.
Yeah. And when you know, when in traffic, that black box can be very helpful because you might not really be able to see that white line. I'm definitely looking at both because that white line doesn't quite show up very well. But so I'm looking for the black box, and then once I'm spotting that, I'm looking for my white line. Okay. Now, the bus stop. The dreaded bus stop.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, so this is a pretty standard chicane. You do have, it is a chicane where it's tighter on the start and opens up a little bit for the second part of the chicane. So that's good to note. So we are in 5th. We're slamming down to 4th. In 4th, I'm trail braking at high speed. There's no doubt about that. But I'm trail braking, and I'm trying to get as tight to this first apex as possible. And so actually being on the grass is almost a necessity.
Oh, okay.
What that's doing is it's setting yourself up for the next 3 apexes. Okay?
Okay.
I use the best in the world. I don't think use any 3rd gear. But for me, I will drop it to 3rd at about this point to try and get that car to rotate a little bit more.
Okay.
And this is pretty much the case with all My time is 46-1 with no cheating, Steel Lake. And if anyone doesn't know about what the cheating is, it's when people cut at the end there. They gain like 2 or 3 tenths by going on the grass at the start finish. Yeah, it's kind of ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah, so at the time it was 520 something in the world. I think I'm outside of the top 1,000 now. But
oh man,
that might be because a whole lot of people have cheated as well. So the key with a bus stop chicane. So when you think bus stop, we're thinking this one. We're thinking the one at Watkins Glen, right?
Yeah.
Whenever I'm thinking about a bus stop, I'm thinking about where do I need to be at my slowest?
Yeah.
Where do I need to be at my slowest? Because if my point of being slow is too late, then my exit speed is going to be supremely, sacrificed.
Yeah.
So where I am right now, this is where I'm trying to be at my slowest.
Okay.
And that means a lot of braking into those first 2 apexes, right?
Yeah.
And the other thing too is, let me back up. We're gonna go in reverse a little bit. I forgot one very important thing in regards to this. At this point is where I need to start turning right.
Okay.
The reason for that is I need to be able to get the weight of the car on the outer tires, the left tires. That way, when it comes time to really plant the throttle down, that grip has already been established on the left tires. That's what we're trying to get there. So does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, because I was taking this a bit more to the left than you are right now.
Yeah.
As that's something that I've noticed that people say to me a lot, is that I'm a bit too safe when I'm on wheel versus how I was on controller previously.
Yes, gotcha. Okay. So check this out. So we really so there's definitely an aggressive line that does involve some risk, and so you will see people go as much as this. This is exceptionally aggressive.
Yeah.
It is fast, and if they are at their slowest at about this point, then they're gonna make it. That's really the key, and then they will. I think the game allows them to cut this much as well.
Yeah.
And then real critical. A lot of people get confused about the penalties on this part right here.
Yeah, that's something I do myself a lot too. I get confused here.
Okay, so let's talk about that. You stay right where you are. I'm going to be moving back and forth a little bit. So this right here is good. This is safe. I can be this wide and not get penalized.
Oh, okay.
Here is when you will get penalized. If you end up going deeper, if you end up going deeper and trying to cut back like this, penalty.
Oh, okay.
It's all about the angle of the car.
Yeah.
And maybe what actually is signaling it for the game is where you are on the white line back here.
Yeah.
If that's
where you're going over it.
If that's the case, I don't know. I don't think there's anything that indicates that. But I do know that if I am this wide and I'm trying to get back on track and I am not parallel with this yellow curbing, I'm gonna get a pen. But
okay.
And I noticed this with the fastest ghost in the world. He's all the way out here.
Oh geez.
And he doesn't get a pen.
That's crazy.
And that's because he is straight. He's got it locked on basically.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's go back. Let's back up a little bit on the chicane, because we're gonna talk about a couple other things, and then we're gonna start getting around this track together. Wrench Wench, good to see you, friend. So let's just talk about again when we're trying to get on the throttle. So remember, we want to be at our slowest right about here.
Yep.
I'm trying, so this doesn't have to be the case for everybody. For me, my goal is to not go below 92 miles an hour and still make the corner. So I might not go full throttle right here, but I will go up to 4th. I'm gonna feather the throttle. I'm gonna see if I'm gonna make it, basically.
Yeah.
So what a lot of folks are doing is they end up not being on the throttle until right about here, or even worse, they're out this wide because they haven't kept it tight. They haven't done that weight transfer that I was talking to you about.
Me.
Okay.
Yeah.
They haven't done that they haven't done that early weight transfer. So get the weight of the tires, get the weight of the car rather on the left tires before that second apex.
Okay.
And that way you don't have to wait to get on the throttle till you're out here, basically.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Any questions in that spot?
No, you summed up everything that I would have had a question on that one.
Okay, let's take this now at about 50 to 60% speed. And you follow me for a little bit, and we're gonna try and feel these. We're gonna feel these turns, okay, and get used to the feeling. So we all end up with something that we're comfortable with, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes what we're comfortable with is good. Sometimes what we're comfortable with is actually to our detriment. So if the differences are stark, then that can really take some adjustments and time to get that adjustment going, you know?
Yeah.
And do remember too that our tires are super cold right now, so
oh yeah, definitely.
We don't need to be pushing it too far. So as we go through here, I'm going to talk a little bit through what we're doing, just sort of commentating to myself so you can hear.
Okay.
All right, so we're looking for those lines. We're going to take this nice and tight. We're going to look for those lines on the left, hit our brake spot, down to second, down to first, let the car turn in, get it pointed, on to second gear, exit we go, okay? All right, we want a nice late apex for this, so we are going to brake in the middle here, down to first, up to second, on the throttle now. Not be afraid to track out wide. That's actually going to help us carry more speed if we do that.
All right.
Go down here. All right. We're going to take this to like 150 miles an hour. We're not going to come in full blast here.
Okay.
Okay. All right, we're looking for that box and the white line. For 4th gear, down to 3rd, on the throttle.
Oops.
Yep, not a problem. That's gonna take some feeling there.
Yeah, definitely.
Hey there, Rad. Good to see you. Yep, we gotta learn with Brigsbee boy. It's awesome. All right, we're gonna take this at 160. We're gonna cap it at that.
Okay.
So about 10 miles per hour slower or so than what it could do. Okay, working for that white line. Gonna brake, gonna stay wide. 1st gear for rotation, up to 2nd. Out we go.
Oh, that felt a lot better.
I like those words. Okay, in between the poles, look for your little marker there. 1st gear for rotation, wait for it, let it turn in, on the throttle. 3rd gear, out we go. 2nd to 3rd, I should say.
Yeah.
Okay, keep it tight to the left. Gonna find our marker. Bam, there it is. 3rd, 2nd, let it turn. 1st, turn in some more. Wait for it is a good possibility to use.
Oh, lost traction.
No problem, no problem. Putting 3rd gear down too does give you some extra traction, which can be helpful. But I do recommend it for this particular race because it'll. Ooh, yeah, that's fun. Nice catch, nice catch. Yep. Okay, I use it for 1st kernel to allow more grip. Yeah, I think I'm gonna let off. You go ahead and get a little closer to me. I don't mind. We aren't gonna hurt each other really if we do end up bonking. So.
Yeah, definitely.
So you said you had a 48 something here so far. Is that right?
Actually, I looked at it, and it's because it's on my alternate account. But
oh, okay.
It's 47.9.
47.9. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Oh no.
That was fun.
Right.
All right. Sorry, Viper. My fault. My fault. Nice dirty tires. It's always good.
Yep.
Always great when the teacher just flies off the track. Like, oh no, what do we do? Right. He was my leader. Now what's going on?
I know things happen.
Indeed.
Not everyone can be absolutely perfect 100% of the time.
Appreciate that. Appreciate it.
Yeah, definitely. Oh. There we go. I corrected it.
Nice. Yep. So I took a quick glance. I was able, the slowest I went was 93 there. Nice. Yeah, so these wider entrances, part of what they provide is less drama on exit. The car is straighter. I love what G in our chat has said multiple times, and I have to reiterate it. What the least amount of steering input that you're putting in, the faster you are.
Huh.
If you're having to steer a whole lot, that means you aren't keeping the car straight enough.
Yeah.
And that means you're slow. Really.
Yeah, that makes sense.
All right, we're going to do the chicane one more time, and I am going to follow you.
Alrighty.
Exactly, Steel Lake. Yep, you're steering with the throttle. That's exactly how he puts it.
Yeah. I find myself doing that a lot, actually. So on some tracks I could really excel, but this track not so much. Whoop.
Good catch, good catch. All right, you go ahead and pass me here, and I'm gonna watch you from behind. And just so everyone knows, we're gonna do this a little bit longer like this, and then we're gonna do a share screen with Briggs, and that way we get to see his inputs, and we'll put a microscope on how he does his stuff here. All right, you don't worry about me. You do your thing, okay?
Alrighty.
Try and implement what we've talked about. Nice, that looked good. You are famous, G. You absolutely are. Never forget it, okay? Whoa, Slick just became a member of the Stud Club. Welcome, Slick. Thank you so much, friend.
Nice.
Means a ton. Everyone throw up the stud emoji, please, for Slick. Okay. What you did there, was that pretty comparable to... Oh, interesting. Wow, I didn't see that. I didn't see why. Was that pretty comparable to how you've taken the other one, or the other times?
Yeah, that was a lot different from how I would normally take it.
Okay. Yeah, you must have got a pen on one of the earlier Apexes, I think.
Yeah,
because the exit was good. Okay. Yeah, Rad, I agree. Rad is seeing the same thing I am. Lines look really good.
Cool.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Very nice. Photo's been a member for 4 months. Awesome, Photo. Thank you, bud. Goodness. All you guys rock. More stud emojis, yes. That looked really great. That was good. That was good pace through there, Briggs.
Cool.
All right, very nice, very nice.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, you got it back.
I actually took it in fourth that entire time.
Okay, interesting. So that may have ended up, may have been why you ended up a little bit wider, but still not bad. Not bad at all.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'll make a note of that one. Won't say it now. Very nice. Oh, couldn't do it on the phone. Gotcha, Slick. Well, glad you got the laptop out, friend.
Oh.
There she went.
Yep, lost it a little.
because Viper right there. Because Viper.
Yep.
I'm gonna give you a little nudge here. Let's get your speed back up some.
Thank you.
And then after this chicane, I think I'll have 2 things to talk about.
Okay.
Or maybe the same thing to talk about in 2 different places. Oh, that was good, Briggs. Woo!
Yeah, I dropped third that time.
That was beautiful, man. All right, let's see what time this is.
Alrighty.
I think we might have you purple here.
Yeah, I just got a purple note.
Okay. I'll give you a little help. Why not? We'll cheat for the time. We'll cheat for the time.
Right.
All right, then we'll slow down for a sec. Now, yep.
48-4. All right.
Okay. So there's a couple things I'm noticing, and so this might be the trail braking issue that you were talking to me about.
Yeah.
Which is, I've noticed being behind you now, there are 2 places where I've caught you under braking, like very, very abruptly.
Yeah.
So it's this turn is one of them. I'm catching you and almost hitting you actually a couple times right here in this spot. So that's probably braking too hard in this part. This is probably actually where you'd need to start to come off the brake a little bit more.
Okay.
And then we don't have to go there, but the same thing for the chicane. I'm catching you in the first 2 apexes. So that's probably, again, a little bit of a braking thing. Okay.
Yeah, definitely. I can tell you one thing is that
Go
I
ahead.
am still getting a little bit nervous right now.
Okay.
Coming into those two turns specifically.
Okay.
Because it's definitely a big difference from how I used to take it before. But I think over
Gotcha.
time I'll actually be able to improve it.
Okay, what I want you to do, I don't always do this, but
Mm-hmm.
if you wouldn't mind just parking your car off to
Mm-hmm.
the side there, and
Okay.
I want you to watch me
All right.
for a second. I'm gonna go ahead and exit and enter. So go ahead and watch me on the stream.
Oh, okay. Yeah, let me just go into the pits and then I'll watch you on stream.
Yep. So specifically, we're gonna look at how I'm breaking into the turn one and the chicane. The chicane will be the first thing that comes up.
Okay.
Because I'm exiting the pit here.
Yep. Yeah, you're still exiting for me.
Yep, gotcha.
And now you're out.
Okay, excellent, excellent. Oh yes, thank you, BL, for throwing that up there. I did forget to do that. Nugs also, or sorry, not Nugs. Nugs was last week's guest. Okay, I know the stream is a little bit behind, so.
Yeah, you're going through right now. Okay, yeah, I see now.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm definitely breaking a lot longer through there because I'm pushing really hard on my break through the turn until it's time to turn.
Yep.
And yeah, I noticed I need to lift up on the brake a bit.
Yep. Yes. So just so for everyone to understand as well. So what that's doing is that's ending up kind of killing your momentum into the apex. So and that's slowing you down by multiple tenths. So the key would be to try and get that feeling. It can feel when you first start to trail brake like that, it can feel a little out of control and quite inconsistent. So what I want to do right now, we may jump back and forth a little bit on this, but what I would like to do right now is go ahead and do a share screen.
Okay.
And go ahead and let's get that set up.
Yeah, I'll send you one. And start share screen.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, we are in.
Alrighty. So go ahead and get on track then.
Yes, please do.
Alrighty.
All right, and we do have Briggs's channel put at the top of the pinned to the top now as well.
Oh, awesome. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you for broadcasting this on your end. And
no problem.
Having a lot of your friends show up today, so that's cool.
Yeah, definitely. I always see it as we're all YouTubers, and I think we should all help each other.
Yes, you are the ultimate helper, sir.
I try.
Okay. Yeah. Donald, good to see you, friend. Subbed and like drop. Appreciate that, friend. Means a ton. Thank you. All right, yeah. What happened there is typical, but not what we want to do. But we'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
Let's. I'm interested more to see chicane here in turn one, for now.
So just do what I'm doing normally.
Well, if you want to try and replicate a little bit of what I did, go for it.
Okay.
Yeah.
No.
No problemo.
That didn't work.
That's okay. And that's part of that feel. That's part of that new feel that we're trying to get you. So.
Yeah.
Let's do turn one. Coming up.
Whoa. Almost hit the tires.
Okay, not bad there.
I felt going in second a little too soon.
Okay, that looked good though. I'm not mad at that turn at all.
Awesome.
Do you have ABS set to weak or default?
Default.
Okay. Okay, let's try get on that throttle a little sooner this time. Okay. So I would really recommend going down to first, right before the apex, get that extra turn in, then go ahead and bump up real quick to third. Yeah.
Okay.
I saw a step on the one.
I'm not mad at that chicane at all. That was good.
Cool.
You especially, I mean, you looked very in control through there the whole time. No drama really.
Yeah. As I go around, I'm getting a little more confident.
Red Shot's asking about the difference between weak and default ABS. So default is a little bit stronger. It's going to activate a lot more under braking. So depending on when the different updates, weak and default have kind of been, one or the other has been better sometimes. Sometimes it depends on the car also. But pretty much weak will not activate quite as much. And so it requires, but you might actually be able to feel the braking a little bit more when you have weak, depending on your pedal setup. So that's kind of how that works. All right, let's try it here. Oh. Okay.
Almost.
Yep. So you're in third. So there's not quite as much slippage, but there still is because Viper. Okay.
Yeah.
So still
definitely.
get it up to the timing was really good. I would say just get up to 50% throttle or so in third, and then work your way up to full there.
Okay. Oh, touch the grass.
You could make that time in third gear a little shorter too. Wouldn't be too bad.
Okay.
Just a quick blip to third, get it turned back up to fourth.
Oh, okay.
Work on the throttle as you exit.
Okay.
Okay, EFC says he's a pad user and finds weak so much better. All right, interesting. Ooh.
Yeah, I got nervous.
But so how that ended up, I probably myself would have gone into first real quick to get that last bit of rotation. So you could be tighter to the apex, but other than that, it was good.
All right.
Oh, you use the gyro feature. Interesting. Hang on, I'll look up there
again
in a second.
Crazy.
That's Steel Lake who's saying that. Yeah. Huh. You are a good student, sir.
I tried to be.
You did exactly what I said. That's awesome. You were 50% like to the decimal point. That was awesome.
Awesome.
And it did. It gripped, and you took it out with good control. Yep. So
that was hairy.
That's fine. Yep. So that time you needed to scrub about 10 more miles per hour right. Going into the second apex there. You were about 100. Okay. You were at about 105 there. So yeah, there was no recovering, unfortunately, at that point. All right. While you take this pen, brings more risk. You think more rotation brings more risk? Well, I guess it's possible for the car to slide out a little bit. But there's less risk on exit because you have the car pointed where you want it quicker. Deacon Do, good to see you, friend. Awesome to have you here, man. I think I missed another one, too. Let me see. You got it, Red Shot. No problem. Drive on weak, should I change? No, not necessarily. I think that you can try it. So I'll tell you this. I was on... Do you remember when the Landis time, getting a competitive time? And I couldn't figure it out. And I would be right with the Ghost going into some of those corners. I would take the same line. I was braking when he did. And then on exit, he was gone. Just poof. Like he's pulling away like crazy. I'm like, how is he doing that? I changed from weak back to default. 2 laps later, I was half a second quicker. I was like, and I had done like 40 laps trying to get that time. I'm like, what in the world? Man. This is killing me. I can't believe this. So it's something to fiddle with, if you really, it's car by car, track by track. And then of course, if you're watching other streamers and you're seeing them do different things, feel free to ask them too. Because they might be having it a certain way that can make it so you don't have to waste 40 laps like I did. All right. You keep going around here a little bit more, Briggs. I'm gonna I'm gonna lock into what we're seeing here.
All right.
Good. Goodness. Very good.
Thank you.
Heck yeah. Oh.
Much better.
Yes. I mean, you hung out in third a little bit longer than I would have, but the line was the line made up for it. Your line was so tight and so clean.
Oh, cool.
Here comes a 47, friends. Oh, just about. Oh, you know why? That's probably because you were in my draft when we set that other time.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's okay. This is a more true time then, isn't it? Let me catch up here. 80 to 90%. Yeah, about 90% is right. You probably Radion does probably have a case there, Briggs, that you're letting it rev just a little bit much for the Viper. But
okay.
Little tiny thing to get a little more out of it.
Yeah, I wasn't sure on the shift point for this car.
Yeah, don't let it blink. Don't let it blink at you, basically.
All right.
Or at the most, it blinks just for a fraction of a second.
Yeah.
Let me catch up here also. Exactly, so that's why I used it. For example, fourth corner at Lago Major. Yeah. Gotcha, Steel Lake, yeah. More rear tire wear? That's a first for me. I haven't heard that. It was to our benefit that you did those 40 laps. I guess so. I guess we'll look at it that way. I like it. All right, let's do another lap.
All right.
Is that right, Tangy? Good. Moving up. Awesome. Yeah.
Hold it.
Yep.
Hold it.
Little adjustment needed.
Yep.
I see. So
Yep.
I'll let you finish this lap, and we'll talk about a couple things.
Okay.
And we'll end the share screen as well.
Okay.
Nice. J Star, good to see you, friend. Welcome, bud. Nice. All right. Good consistency there at the end. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's go ahead and end the share screen, and then we will pop out back on the track together here.
Okay.
All right, let's do that. So what we want to discuss here for a moment, and this is one of the things that you mentioned about the trail braking.
Yeah.
So I see from those inputs that you're doing there is the concept of trail braking is in your braking for sure. It's just not quite always executed how to its optimal amount. Okay.
Yeah.
So let's real quick from this point, let's talk about what we're trying to accomplish with trail braking. Okay.
Okay.
So in geometry, the quickest or the shortest distance between two lines is a straight, or 2 points is a straight line, right?
Yeah.
All right. So that's not the case with racing.
Yeah.
It doesn't work that way. So I want you to see our two driving markers here that we have. You still have the assist up, right? The driving marker assist. Yeah.
Yep.
So what we have is our turn in point. That's the marker that's closest to us, and the apex, which is in the distance there around the corner. What we're trying to do is take the car from this turn-in point to that apex as quickly as possible.
Okay.
And that is done all by braking, right?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
It's not done by how quickly we turn in and how straight we take it to that apex. We need anybody who, who has a tendency to do that, we got to get that out of our system. It's not fast. It's not good, right? Okay. Yeah. So what we need to then consider is, okay, well, how do we do it? Well, number one is grip. So the way trail braking works is, and GT7 is an incredible game that it's so consistent. You can make it do this over and over and over again if your inputs are consistent enough. So you're loading the outer tires with the weight of the car. So in this turn, for instance, it would be the left tires. And by turning, slowing down, and trail braking, you are actually keeping the pressure of the weight of the car on those tires. And what that does is it keeps your grip. You don't lose grip. When you unload the tires, then that is when you end up losing grip, and you're actually waiting for it to turn, waiting and that kind of thing. So let's take this turn here as an example, and I'll just let you know one of the things that I've seen you do. Okay. So what I've noticed you do is you're going deep into the corner, which is good. And what's happening is you are heavily braking in this part right here. And then right about here, you end up going a little bit deep, but you haven't trailed off the braking at all.
Oh, okay.
You maintained it. You might drop just a little bit, but it ends up being like a 10% difference maybe, and that's it.
Okay.
Then what happens is you don't completely come off the brakes, but you go down to about 20% or lower. And then you are able to turn and get the car pointed the way you want and on the throttle. So what in effect we've done is we actually haven't loaded the outer tires with the weight of the car. With that kind of line, we've ended up loading the front tires with the weight of the car, and then all of a sudden we've lifted. Yeah, so we lift off the brakes. Now the weight has shifted to like the center of the car, and you don't have grip like you did before. And you have to wait for the car to turn. And so this has been pretty much the case. You've done this on this corner. You've done it on the next corner coming up. And you've done it a little bit on turn 1 as well.
Okay.
So I've seen enough now where I think this is probably how you typically brake, is my guess.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. So when we're talking about trail braking, we are really talking about gradually coming from 100% braking to 80 to 70 to 60 to 50 on down until you get to the apex. And at the apex, we should be off the brake by that point. Or if we're a little bit before the apex, maybe we have 20 or 10% braking power left, basically. So with that said, if we were able to brake perfectly, let's just say it's perfect world, we're perfect, and we're braking perfectly, okay? The ideal line would be you're braking in a straight line equals full braking, right? 100% braking. As you begin to turn, you're down to 90. As you continue to turn, you're down to 80, 70, 60, 50, right? And as the braking decreases, the turning input increases.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
you followed that?
Yeah.
So let's back up on this corner right here.
All right.
And let's sort of, like in the most hiccupy stop motion type of way to show it, basically demonstrate it, okay? And you can feel it as well. Okay. So at where you are right there, we're full braking, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're full, we're full, we're full. We start to turn. Now we're at 90, okay?
Okay.
We're turning a little bit more. We're at 80. We're turning a little bit more. We're at 70.
Okay.
We're turning more, 60, 50. Now at this point, it's happening faster than I can really say. And even driving slowly like that. But so by the time we get to here, we're at 20% braking power or less.
Okay.
And if we've done it, remember that perfect scenario? If we've done it perfectly, we're able to transition from braking to throttle with no coasting at all.
Oh, geez. Yeah, that would be ideal.
That's the ideal. That's the fastest.
Alrighty.
There are some vehicles, some of the all-wheel drive vehicles that we race with in Group 4, for example, coasting would actually be okay and actually fast as well. But for our example purposes here, that's what we're trying to achieve with trail braking. We're trying to, and what that does is it keeps the grip on the outer tires. It keeps our miles per hour high. And that way we really don't lose time in the corner. We're maximizing our time in the corner. That makes sense?
Yeah, that does. That makes a lot of sense.
Cool. Good to it's not hard to understand, but it is perhaps a little bit harder to execute. Yeah.
Yeah.
And look, those folks that are at the top times in the world are the GT7 World Tour drivers. They are darn near perfect. They really are. And, you know, if you've watched them or you watch someone, a streamer like Digit, he's darn near perfect. You know, he is doing this constantly and almost perfectly every time. And so, you know, when they're racing each other, those top drivers, when they're racing each other, the differences between you know, someone getting past someone catching someone, it's in the 100ths, and it's because someone is just a little bit off in that braking zone, in that throttle zone, the transition from braking to throttle, all of that. It's really amazing what they're able to do, you know?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Hey, Moto, good to see you, friend. Moto also says hi to Briggs. Very cool, very cool. Yeah, so that's what we're trying to do. So compare that to what you've been doing.
Yeah.
We have, so I'd like to let's go ahead and do let's go back into the pits.
Okay.
And let's go ahead and share screen again, if you don't mind.
All right. Yep. There we go.
Excellent. Okay, so what I'd like to see is all right, you're in. Go ahead and come out. Yep.
All right.
Because it's not going to let you do anything sitting in the pits.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. And then once you get on track, I want to know, and I can't really tell you this or not. You got to tell me.
Yeah.
Is your brake pedal, does it feel, go ahead and come to a stop.
Back up a little.
Sure, it's no problem. So does the feel of the brake pedal, when you're at 100% braking, right? Go ahead and take it up there. When you trail off, is there shall we say a consistent amount of pressure that you feel on your way to 0%?
Kind of. Yeah, it feels pretty consistent. That's what has been an issue for me, because it feels really hard for me to once I brake, I feel like I have to brake really hard in order to actually get my full braking.
Okay.
And then I have to back off little by little by little.
Okay.
And I think I'm doing it right, but obviously I'm not.
Well, so I have a feeling that if the fact that you told me that it takes a lot of effort to get it to 100%.
Yeah.
That's probably one of the problems, honestly. So
Yeah.
go ahead and exit out of this spot here.
All right.
And go to the GT.
Oh yeah.
Yep. I'd like to see your inputs there on the controllers, under controllers. Yep. 68. Okay, so you already have it down.
Yeah, I already have it down, but yeah, I do have the upgraded spring and the block in there and stuff. Yeah. So maybe I need to drop that down a little bit more than that.
Maybe. It should not feel, yeah, you don't really want the brake pedal to feel hard to get to 100%.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely.
It should be, it should take, it should be some effort, but it shouldn't be hard,
yeah.
I guess is the idea there. So maybe drop it to like 60. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe drop it to 60. Thinking. And just don't forget, if you have other accounts, which you do, I think, that you'll have to make that change too to the other accounts.
Yep.
Let's see. Go ahead and, if you want to go back, go ahead and see what that feels like now.
Okay. See if that feels any better.
That's a good point, Sari. I like that. I'll mention that here in a second, Sari. So go ahead and get out here. It's a long pit exit.
Yeah, it is.
All right. Let's go ahead and stop on the track. Yep. Let's just stop here. All right. So you give me 100%. Give me 75. Oh, yeah. Give me 50. Give me 25. Yeah. Okay. Fluctuate through it. Go up. Now trail off. Make it a smooth motion now. All the way down.
Okay.
Try again with the smooth motion.
Yep.
Okay. Try again. That was better. Try again. Okay, one more time. That was better. Sometimes I'm seeing kind of exactly what I was noticing while you were on the track was this significant drop.
Little pause. Yeah.
It was a significant drop and a pause. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's try to be smooth again. All right, try to be slow and smooth now. Good. Slower this time. Okay. Yeah. All right. Let's try again. That was good. It's going to be harder the slower you go. So
yeah, definitely.
Not a problem for little hiccups, but
yeah. Okay. Definitely something I need to practice.
Yeah. And it's not something that you can necessarily when you're driving the car at these speeds and you got turns and all of that, it's not something that you necessarily can pay attention to.
Yeah, definitely. It's got to be memory.
So yeah, exactly, muscle memory and brain memory. Yeah. So when you nail it, like when it feels right and you get it, like it is magical. when you're able to trail brake into a corner and you just know, oh, I nailed that sucker. I got it, and so it really will come down to that. So let's go ahead and stop the share screen for a moment.
Alrighty.
And we will do a share screen again, but I need to change the I need to change the place.
Alright.
So we're gonna head over to Suzuka.
Alrighty.
And the purpose of this is going to be mainly to let's try and implement what we've talked about in a different track.
Yeah.
There it is.
That is a slightly stronger track for me, where I do actually have a little bit better pace than I do here.
Yes.
But well, I don't know about this car.
Well, I was gonna. That was my next thing. Was what's your favorite Group 4 car? Or if you have, or one of your top ones, yeah.
It's really hard to say because I don't really favor Group 4 very much.
Okay. So what's a comfier Group 3 car then?
Comfier Group 3, the RS01.
Oh, we are friends.
yeah, definitely.
I can hear G rolling his eyes right now. G has been getting on me about using too many French cars recently. So.
Oh, that's funny.
All right, we'll keep it on medium tires. We'll change this.
It's because of the update for me. It just felt better to me. Beforehand, it was what was it that I used to drive a lot? Let me look at my cars.
Sure.
So before not this update that just happened yesterday, I think it was, but the update before that, I was actually favoring the RCF a lot more. And what else was it that I would drive a lot? I think it was the AMG, actually.
Okay. Well, you want to hop in the RS01 here?
Yeah, sure.
Yep, we can do that. We can be RS01 buddies.
Yep.
So go ahead and find that car, and we'll get on track.
My Jolly Rancher.
We'll get on track together. So I'm not going to... there's a lot of turns here, so I'm not going to take the time to go through each corner.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
But I'm going to follow you, and we're just going to talk it out as we go through, okay?
Okay. Sounds good.
Let me move over without getting a 3-second pen here.
Yeah, definitely. So just go full power, or?
Yep, do what feels good.
Okay.
Geberk!
Geberk!
We have too much fun, don't we? Annie, good to see you. Is that right, Tangy? Yeah, silvers are hard to come by, man. Good job. Nice through there. Yeah, you definitely have a good understanding of this track.
Yeah,
I'm feeling
better. It's just this part right here, I tend to botch up a little bit.
Whee! Is that right, Seba? You've been sub-farming like crazy, man. Good job.
Mm-hmm.
your hairpin is great there.
Oh, thank you.
You've got the late turn in just right. You exit in first there with this car?
I do somewhat, but I actually shift up to second before I exit because I feel like I'm gonna spin my wheels too much.
Got it, yeah. Nice deal. Very nice. I'm assuming you did that in the Viper, bud? That's great. You too, Annie. See ya. Ooh.
Oh.
I got the bounce there from Degna 1.
Oh no.
Yeah, the Peugeot. Yeah. Looks competitive on Daytona, but I didn't try it either there. Okay. I've seen enough from this vantage point, I think. Let's go ahead and do a share screen again.
Alrighty. There we go.
Excellent. Okay, we see what you see, sir.
Alrighty.
Mm-hmm. No fourth gear there.
Alright. I took that a little funky that time.
Yeah. Hairpin is beautiful, dude. Really is.
Thank you.
And the reason it is because you brake deep, you turn late, you get the car pointed to where it's supposed to go, and it works. Yep. Same with spoon. Very nice. Probably don't need fourth on spoon either. Part of that is the RS01 can rev so far beyond the blinkies.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay. Next time we get to that chicane, we're gonna stop before we go through it. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Going into fourth there is making it harder to slow down.
Yeah. I don't know why I keep doing that, because I know I shouldn't be doing that.
Yeah, it's okay.
I think it's a bad habit I need to break.
Yeah, so one of the principles that I like to point out too is don't use a gear that you don't have to, especially when you're braking. Because if you have to shift one extra gear down in order to slow down, that's actually lengthening how long it's going to take for you to actually get slowed down.
Yeah, definitely.
So like that, I think you can rev that out to fifth, if I remember right.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Whoop.
Woo.
Woo.
All right.
How do you make a correction?
Yep. Mid corner correction. Very nice. Okay, let's go ahead and
start slowing down.
Stop at your braking point for the chicane.
Yep.
All right, so we have a right to left chicane.
So this little marker on the right, white line on the left, that's where I'm braking. The little scuff marks.
Yep, that's perfect. That's right where you need to be, I do believe. So what I noticed is if you look at the map at the right side there, you ended up not being able to get on the throttle until after the second apex.
Yeah.
So you're quick going from first apex to second apex, which feels fast, but in the end it's slow.
Yeah.
So and you would be susceptible to overtakes a whole bunch if someone was behind you. So I want you to go ahead and ooch forward to the 50 board.
Alrighty.
So this is your braking area here, so you're braking in a straight line. And the driving marker there is not a bad turn-in spot. So you're going to go ahead and go up to that. And turn later than that, I would say.
Okay.
So you're going to start turning right now.
About here.
Yeah, and go ahead and park it on the apex.
All right.
Okay, so what that's doing is what we're trying to do is we want to get on the throttle before the second apex.
Okay.
Because you have a long flat out section afterwards. So you're going to sacrifice a little bit of exit speed on the first apex in order to maximize the exit speed on the second apex.
Okay.
So go ahead and ooch forward a little bit. And stop right there. Okay. So this is pretty much as far to the left as you want to be. As far to the left because you need that car to be angled properly to exit, if you follow me there. So by now you're on the second gear and you're turning left, so go ahead and do that. And yeah, you're able to cut that, able to be on the throttle and make the corner. Again, what I like to say is with no drama.
yeah, definitely.
So, one of the things that we talk about here on this is often, knowing when to sacrifice speed in order to get the most exit speed. The S's are another place where that can happen. Some S's are like a Kyoto, for example. It's be at the slowest in the beginning and be flat out going through the S's. With Suzuka, you actually have either lifting zones or braking zones to go through there. But I think you definitely understand the idea. But let's go ahead and do another couple laps maybe.
Okay.
And we'll take a look here a little bit.
Alrighty.
Good speed carried through there.
Oops. Why did I shift?
Yeah, let that sucker rev.
All right, getting back up to speed now.
Yep. Whee! Round we go.
Yep, I took it wrong that time. Whoops.
Yeah, we missed the apex on the Degna 2. Slick, unfortunately, I just let Shaggy know a little bit ago I will not be participating in this season.
Alrighty, get myself straightened out again.
Yep, no problem. Third. Yeah, keep it in third. Don't take it to fourth.
Oh, okay.
No need for fourth. I want you to rev it out. Don't shift fifth. Let her go.
Okay.
Watch how much this can go.
Holy moly.
Now that's not every
I didn't know it could take that much.
That's not every car, but the RS01 is like that.
Yeah.
And the power band is very high for the RS01. So you definitely don't want to be using you definitely don't want to be using gears you don't need.
Yeah, definitely. I just have to remember that's my downfall.
Yeah. I like turn 1 though. Braking and all of that looks really good. $50 burger. Oh, thank you for the 50 likes, everyone. Appreciate that, friends. You guys are awesome. Nice. No fourth. Stop using fourth.
I know, right? I need to take it out of my gearbox at this point.
Maybe. No fifth. Oh,
yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Remember revving out.
Yeah, it's gonna be, you'll have so much more braking power.
Yeah.
No sixth. Second. A little late on second.
Yep.
So you would want second there to get that sucker to turn in more.
Okay.
Good through there. Yeah, very nice. Yeah, a little fun on exit, but that's all right.
Yep. Little bit of slippage.
Let her rev. No sixth.
Oh, yeah. Whoops.
Oh. Yep. So you hit the limiter there. That's good. We want to know where so I like to I like to shift the RS01 on the 7s.
Okay.
The 6s or 7s, because the 8 or 9 is where the limiter is. Good. Use second here to get rotation. And to keep it tight. Yep. All right, so the end of the S is there. We need to sacrifice exit speed to set up for this one here.
Okay.
So we want to be a little later on the throttle coming out of the S's.
Alrighty.
No fourth.
I don't know why I used At least I caught at least I noticed it that time.
You did. Cake. Chris Wood wants cake. Okay, let's give Chris some cake, everybody. I think if it was up to Chris, we would have cake instead of burgers for our likes.
I did it again.
Yep. No sixth. Second. Let it tighten. No first. Yep. There you go.
All right.
Yeah. So those lower gears, like second at the end of spoon there, let second pull you in and pull you to the apex, and then exit in third.
Oops.
Yeah, a little wild that time.
Yep.
Burgers are everywhere.
We turned in late enough. I turned in too early.
Yep. Right, Venus? Yeah. Second to get it to turn in. Let it tighten on the throttle. Yeah. No fourth. Yes. Yep. Okay. Gotta wait. A little late on the turn in that time. That's okay. Let it tighten. All right. We could sacrifice even a little more speed there, but that's good.
All right.
What that did was it delayed your throttle for the left-hander.
I took it a little funky.
Close enough. So I think I'll wait to say it. I'm gonna look a little bit more, but I think I see
right.
I think I see something good.
Okay. No. I'm getting it. I just need to perfect it.
Yeah. Well, downshifting and braking, they're an interesting thing to mix. And when you get it off, then yeah, that can really affect. Ooh, very nice line. Yes. Almost. That's okay.
Almost.
Honestly, I like that mistake because you were aggressive getting on the throttle, and you just needed to straighten that wheel a little sooner is all.
Yeah. So you wanted to
let's go one more time if you don't mind. If you don't mind one more time.
Yeah, sure.
Mm-hmm. Nice lines through there. Let it get in. Yeah, little later on the throttle there for sure.
Yep. Definitely need to work on that one.
Mm-hmm. But again, that's because we're setting up for that left.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Let me see a little bit more. Here we go. Okay, second. Letter. Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, no lift at all on exit. Beautiful. All right, last sequence, and then we'll chat for a bit.
All right.
Mm-hmm. I like that steering there. That's really good. So let's go ahead and park it. We can end the share screen.
All right.
So a couple things just to take away before we talk about racing with others here. Okay. So what I saw in your braking going to Suzuka was a lot better. Maybe part of that is familiarity with the car and the track, but I will say there was definitely less time at 100% braking, and I could see you be in that 50 to 100% range more that time. So that's good. Maybe some of that has to do with the fiddling that we did. As far as the percentage of when you get to max brake, so that could be great. Dawn Squad, great to see you. Awesome to have you here. Yeah, so that's one of the takeaways that I got from this. So that's good. That's heading in the right direction, I believe. So something to keep in mind as you practice more courses coming up. Okay. Second thing, something that you were starting to do here, as I think you got more comfortable, but I never quite saw you do at Daytona with the Viper, and that is how quickly you are turning the vehicle in, as far as steering inputs go. So smooth is fast, right? We've heard that, but there are times definitely where you want to yank that steering wheel over, so that the car knows, oh, we got to turn now. Got it. Here we go, kind of thing. So sometimes you were a little bit late for turning in at Daytona. Here you started out late at the beginning, and then you started to correct that as you got more laps under you. So that's good. So those are the two takeaways I would say I see when racing by yourself. Definitely focus on your gearing too. That seems to be a little bit inconsistent. So when going into corners, you definitely want to have to downshift as few times as possible. So for example, at Daytona, turn 2, the right-hander. In the Viper, you're in 4th gear by the time you get to there, and the revs are really high, and it feels like you want to go to 5th. I've even gone to 5th a few times and realized, you know what, I don't need to go to 5th. I don't need to take that extra time to end up, coming to the speed that I need to be at for the corner. So make sure that when you're doing that, make sure you know where you want that gearing to be, and try to replicate the same thing every time when you're learning a course. Make that an emphasis for sure. Samo, thank you so much for the 54th like. That's awesome, friend. Appreciate you. Okay, let's go ahead and talk about racing with others, and then we probably have one exercise that we want to do together, which should be pretty fun around here, which I think I mentioned to you. So so when it comes to racing with others on track, you've mentioned to me that you get pretty nervous when you're closer to other people.
Yeah.
Did you say specifically when you're behind them and side by side?
Yeah, specifically when I'm side by side with them going through a corner, or if I'm right up on them, like right behind them, like pretty much on their bumper behind them. I get nervous that I'm gonna hit them. To me, so a lot of the issue when I'm behind is that I can't see over their car, so I can't see my braking point anymore.
Yeah. And that's one of the drawbacks of the bumper cam, because you are so low to the ground with that view. But I do see people a lot of times they'll give a little peek when they use that view. Is that something that you try to do also, or?
Yeah, that's something I try to do, but I feel like when I do it, it slows me down even more.
Okay, interesting. So. Yeah, when driving close behind folks, and so you've been in C lobbies and B lobbies.
Yeah.
Your competition is really unpredictable.
Yeah, definitely.
And I go over this in Essential Racing Strategies, the video series that we've been putting out, and we've covered E through C lobbies, we've covered B lobbies. Really through that entire range, your competition is very unpredictable. I would give yourself kind of a rule, Briggs. I would say I want to be a half second behind someone at all times.
yeah, that's what I feel like. I need to have that space.
Yeah, if you end up closer than that, which could happen, right? You wouldn't even plan on it, but someone comes out of a corner slow or whatever. Yeah. If you can't get the pass done in time for the next one, then feel free to let off. And if you're in C right now, if you just run your race and maintain space between you and your competitors, people are going to gift you positions. You might not even have to pass once, like an actual pass.
yeah, definitely.
Because I can tell you have pace that's faster than C. You've got that in you. I can see it. Yeah, I know. You said there was a little bit of a drop off when you went to the wheel. You're still faster than C. There's no doubt about that in my mind. My guess is that what's keeping you from being in B and staying in B and then going beyond that is your navigation of traffic. So knowing when to let off / knowing when to brake a little bit earlier would be pretty critical.
Yeah.
And I would definitely focus on that. Focus on braking early and getting a better exit than your competitors.
Okay.
So let's hop on track together for a second. Right. Okay. Okay, we'll stay inside here. So you follow me. Go ahead and be nice and close.
All right.
So I'm going to get up to speed here in a second. All right. So we're coming through here. And when you're... Oh, thank you, Venus. Screen reminder. There we go. I know you actually want to see what's going on. My fault. So when you're following somebody in a C-ranked lobby or a B-ranked lobby, you should be looking for when that natural opening is going to come up. And by natural opening in a C-rated lobby or B-rated lobby, I mean a mistake.
Yeah.
A mistake that sends them wide, sends them going through a corner slow. So what I want you to do is be right up on me here, and I'm going to make a mistake when you don't know it's going to happen. Like right there. All right, now I got a better run than you. No, you go ahead. We keep going. We keep going.
Okay.
Yeah, we're gonna race close.
Okay.
Do you find that you have any of that nervousness when someone's following you?
Yes.
Okay.
Definitely. Because well, that's mainly because I'm not sure if I could trust who's behind me. Of course, it's different in lobbies versus
sure.
dailies.
Lobbies, right?
Yeah, but anytime I'm in a daily, I'm nervous about who's behind me, what they're gonna do, if they're gonna hit me or what.
Well, I think you're right to be nervous, honestly.
Yeah.
Really, unless you know somebody in a daily,
Yeah.
I hate to say it this way, but you can't trust them.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
You can't. It's really not going to work. So you have to maintain that space that you have around you, honestly, as much as it's in your control.
Yeah.
That's really the case. Hey there, Big Papa and Blankenship. Good to see you guys. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and try to make a pass on you. Okay.
All right.
I'm gonna set this up so that I can hopefully make that happen. Oh. A little bit of dirty air there. I lost all my front end traction. Thankfully, I'm always behind him on track. Big Papa. Oh dear. There's been a couple times when you've been ahead of me, I think. I'm not that fast.
Yeah, you are.
All right, good pace through here. Taking me a bit here to catch up, so that's good.
All right.
Okay. You're just going on your merry way.
Yeah.
I like this.
I'm just cruising. Whoa. Now I made a little mistake.
You do have medium tires on, correct?
Yes.
Okay, just making sure. Now you're doing well. I'm the one making mistakes here, and you're pulling away.
Should I drop back a little bit?
Yep,
or?
let's go ahead and do that, I think. Otherwise, it kind of defeats the purpose of this. Yeah, you got good pace here. Okay, I've caught up.
was.
Mm-hmm. All right, feel the pressure. Feel it, feel it. Want you to feel it. Viking King, what's up, friend? Good to see you, bud.
VKG.
It nerve-wracking, I know. Okay.
Yep.
You're close to me now. Here we go.
Yep.
All right, so I will pick a place to make a mistake. Or you can just go for it.
I wasn't sure if I should
I like it.
off or...
Oh, my fault, my fault. There we go.
All good, all good.
Okay. I mean, that's typical dailies right there, right? Honestly.
Yeah, exactly. That's typical for what would happen.
Yeah. I'll let you catch up a little bit here. Okay, here we go. Let's do it again.
Yep.
Yes. We have to be able to get them. Because we have
Good stuff, right? Yeah.
Sorry.
That's okay. So that was my mistake there.
Mm-hmm.
I'll make another one when you don't expect it.
Yep.
Nice.
Oh.
Whee!
There's my mistake.
Very nice. Well handled there. So the first time I made the mistake, you weren't quite ready for it, and you ended up hitting me. The second one, you were more ready for it, and you were able to get by me.
Mm-hmm. No, I made a mistake.
Okay. All right, so at a point in time, I'll make a mistake again.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I made it, but you weren't quite able to capitalize.
Yep. Oh, I think I braked too late there.
Okay.
Alright, straightened out again.
You have dirty tires? Did you go far enough for that?
Yeah.
Okay. This was a very fast lap, by the way. I'm purple up here.
Oh, geez.
Purple by 4/10 is what at that last checkpoint. All right, let's get you up my tailpipes
Yep.
again.
Yep.
Okay, good. I broke early on purpose there.
Mm-hmm.
To see how you would react. You did good avoiding action. Right, VKG, he sure is. He's putting that work in today, no doubt. Okay, did you check up when you saw me go or no? Ooh.
Huh? Did I what?
On Degna 2, did you check up when you saw me make a mistake?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, gotcha. Molly, good to see you, friend.
Let me slow up a little bit for you.
Yeah, sure. So let's go ahead and let's take a park for a second.
Okay.
So you know, it's obviously it's not possible to completely replicate, you know, situations in dailies.
Yeah.
I'm just one car. I'm not 15 other cars, right?
Yeah.
But what that exercise was trying to do is to understand that cars are going to make mistakes ahead of you, and they're going to do things that maybe even aren't a mistake, but there's an unpredictable nature to it, right?
Yeah.
So what you got to do in the dailies when you're in the E through B lobbies, all the way through there, is Briggs, you need to focus on your race, making sure that you understand the car and the track, so that you have a comfortable, repeatable pace that you can do every time you're out there.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, that's the stuff that you can control, right?
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
You can't, you know, a lot of us, especially when it's the B lobbies and below, we often want to focus a lot on the stuff that makes us upset, right? The stuff that makes us angry, sad, want to quit the game, whatever.
Yeah.
And we can't really worry about those things. We can really only worry about the stuff that's within our control.
Yeah, definitely.
So part of what's in your control is how you can respond to what's happening around you, right? So when you're following somebody on track, always be thinking about putting yourself in a position that as soon as a slight mistake or a big mistake is made, you can capitalize on it. So for instance here, let's talk about this first corner here. So let's say you're following someone into Spoon.
Yeah.
What's really critical when you're following someone into Spoon is you get your braking point correct.
Yeah.
Right? So make sure, you know, I'm guessing the access road there that you're next to, that's probably about where you're braking, right?
Yeah, that's my braking marker is the access road.
So if someone makes a mistake at Spoon, it's likely going to be they miss this first apex and they go a little wide, right?
Yeah.
So that could be, that could look something like this,
Mm-hmm.
right? Now, if you have gotten your braking point correct, and you've gotten, and you're able to clip this first apex on the left there,
Yeah. Yep.
you're already going to be set up so that, see, I can't accelerate as much as you, because I'm out here. Now by this point, you're on my inside, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there isn't a darn thing I can do about it. Even if I'm a dirty driver, I really can't even do anything to you. You're on my inside. The most I can do, go ahead and get on my inside right now.
Mm-hmm.
So the most I could do is maybe slow up and turn a little bit early and try and hit you on the side, but you're not gonna be fazed by that. Okay.
Yeah.
So there is so much opportunity to be able to pass your competitors just by racing how the track is meant to be raced, basically.
Yeah.
Let's any thoughts or questions on that?
No, you're explaining it pretty well in a way I can understand too.
Yeah. So it really isn't, in comparison, it really isn't until you get to, let's say, high B or low A, that setting yourself to actually make a pass when someone else is driving well, it's really not until then that comes into play on a regular basis, to be fair. Lower B rank and below that really is just about doing your comfortable, repeatable pace and making sure that you set yourself up for passes when someone makes a mistake. That really is.
Yeah.
Your competitors in those lobbies are just that inconsistent,
Yeah, definitely.
So let's talk about side by side for a little bit. Side by side is where gearing comes into play big time.
Okay.
And this is why. So let's talk about the chicane. Let's go to the chicane. Okay.
Okay.
And let's have me be on the inside for the chicane, okay?
Okay.
So it's it's not completely unlikely, but let's say someone is really close behind you here, and they end up catching you on this section. So you're on the outside, and I'm right here. Let's go ahead and stop as soon as we can stop. Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
So when you're in this situation like this, I just saw Jolly Rancher on the back of your car. Yeah. I really want one now. So in a situation like this, there's two possibilities. And this is I understand that you need to be able to run them out of track. I see you, G. So I have to factor in the fact that you don't like this situation, okay?
Yeah.
This is something that you try to avoid at all costs.
Yeah, because I get uncomfortable.
Right. So I'm going to let you on a little secret, okay? Your braking and gearing in a situation like this is where you can become comfortable.
Okay.
So I noticed on this particular chicane, you were diving in at second gear.
Yeah.
Well, you have limited track width now, and so does your competitor, okay?
Yeah.
So that means you're going to, both of you, if you're going to make the corners, both of you are going to have to be slower through this section.
Yeah.
Now, very honestly, the guy on the inside where I'm at could end up going deep. So you kind of have two options. You can try to go around the outside, but for the most part, your competitors in C lobbies aren't really going to be able to hold the corner. They're not really going to be, most likely not going to be able to make the apex. So,
which is what I experience a lot.
Yeah.
And then getting bumped off.
Yeah, so I would brake early enough so that they end up getting by you.
Mm-hmm.
Which means they'll end up probably out here.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see where you are right now. Yep. So you've allowed him to go by. Now you have the optimal line, right?
Yeah.
Now, one thing that you need to know is because he's out here, he is not going to be able to carry speed through this part.
Yeah.
So what you need to be thinking of is, I'm not going to get this position back here. If anything, I want to give myself a chance to get the position back at the end of the straight.
Yeah.
Okay. So the way to do that is you're gonna purposefully stay more to the right, so you can get exit speed that myself, I'm not gonna have.
Yeah. Okay.
Right.
Yeah, because I could get on the gas sooner if I do that. Yeah.
Right. And then, I mean, obviously he could go defensive or something like that. And look, if he's capable of a mistake like he made before, he might do it again. So you don't have to make the run on him on this.
Yeah.
But you could see if you could get by him completely. If you could get by him completely without any side by side, give yourself that chance, basically.
Yeah.
But if it ends up, being something that you're not comfortable with, then just hang back, stay in his slip, wait for him to make a mistake, and capitalize on that. You know?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, and G is saying the same thing. If he's unsure, just brake earlier and anticipate the other guy to overshoot. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. If you do, so let's talk about going side by side, though. Let's say you end up going through turn 1 here, and you're actually side by side through the whole thing. Okay, so let's say someone gets a run on you, okay?
Okay.
Let's put it the other way, actually. Let's go ahead and you decided to go defensive, and someone ends up on your outside, okay?
Okay.
So before we go in, let's stop right here. I think you typically go all the way down to second gear at the end, right? So in order to keep tighter, instead of going fourth into this first apex, you probably want to go to third, because let's go side by side here in slow-mo, because you're not going to have the full width of the track, because you have to honor the position of the guy here. So you're in third by now, which is keeping you tighter to the right. And honestly, the guy on the left, I might mess up and actually I might go off course. You probably don't need first, because this is you're in 60 mile per hour range by now.
Yeah.
But even so, you'll still use a little more of second perhaps to get out of here, and that sort of thing. So let's try to go. Oh, thank you guys. Let's try and go side by side 1 lap. Okay.
Okay.
And let's try and stay side by side together. And I just want you to feel some of those lower gears that will help you stay on track and kind of still okay, you can actually be this close to somebody and still make it. It does take confidence. And it's a bit of a dance.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, hard to do. Okay. All right, let's go.
Yep.
Nice. Thanks, GVG. Appreciate it, bud. All right, I'm gonna give incredible trust here and try and stay on the outside. Massive amounts of trust. I messed up. My fault.
All good.
Okay, back to side-by-side action. Very nice. 60 burger. Holy cow. Thank you, guys.
Oh, wow. Nice.
All right. So this, I would say, never go side by side through here.
Yeah, definitely.
This is a no-no. 130R. Oh, yeah. We love that air we got. All right. Let's try it here. Go on my inside. All right. Good enough. Let's try one more time around.
All right.
And as we do this, always understand too that the person on the outside will be able to carry more speed than the person on the inside. Yeah, it's a tough corner to stay side by side for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
The person on the outside will always be able to maintain more speed than the person on the inside.
Yeah.
It does take some confidence to build up to that, to know that you're gonna make it.
Yep.
But it is doable. So you go much faster than me on the outside than I can there. I was like at 33 miles an hour.
Oh, jeez.
All right, so I use second gear there to stay tight so that I wouldn't hit you. Normally I'm in third gear there. Okay, we'll just not even try it. Oh, I have a pen to serve anyway.
Oh.
But all right, let's try the chicane.
All right.
Very nice. I overshot it.
Oh.
No problem. All right, let's go ahead and park it.
Switch. Oh, okay.
Yep, we'll park it. Oof. I wanted to see. Alonso did outside overtake in 130R and Michael Schumacher. He said at the end, I knew he had a wife and kids at home. that is something, man. Oh my goodness. Yeah, you messed that up at those speeds. Holy cow. There's all that runoff, but if you lose the car, man, that's it.
Yeah,
oh man.
Definitely.
I tell you what, this has been quite the day, Briggs. So
definitely.
You know, on this last stuff that we did, I can't tell you you're gonna instantly be awesome at it. It is something that you'll have to work up to.
Yeah, definitely.
I think the key is to be disciplined about what you can control and not worry about what others are doing, you know. So
yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that to me that's exceptionally important. And honestly, if you do that, I think you'll be in B and you'll stay there easy. But definitely, you know, you got to spend the time to learn the track, learn the car, understand the fastest way to get through the track, basically. Knowing what to do is the first step. Executing it on a regular basis is the second step. And that's just you by yourself, you know. And then when you get on track with others, you stick to those things. I see it in a lot of folks. You know, I get to watch a lot of streamers, and some folks, they tend to become this other person when they're on track with others. They feel. Go ahead.
I'm guilty.
Okay. Yeah. And I understand it to a certain extent for sure. Like there's this tension and stuff that comes out, and and really it doesn't have to be that way. It doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
If you, yes, there's other cars on the road, but if you can just focus on every turn, where you need to brake, where you need to turn in, when you need to be accelerating, where you need to point the car to accelerate the fastest as possible. That right there, if you do that, you have a leg up on the competition in C and B lobbies.
Okay.
Instantly.
So that's why I can get to about mid B, and then once I get to mid B, the issue is that which pushes me back down is getting purposely rammed into, or purposely, like, people will come up to me and boom, 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 knock me off.
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah.
You know, in Essential Racing Strategies, I've been through the B lobbies now in the last few months, and I've experienced it all over again, and it's not fun.
Yeah.
It's really tough. I totally feel that. You know, it makes it it makes it like you don't want to be out there, but the truth is, I think that if you're able to maintain your own race, do your own thing, and basically most of the time you can get away from the dirt by holding your ground. Just look, understand, even if someone doesn't think you have the right to be there, you do.
Yeah,
right?
Definitely.
You have the right to be on track, and wherever you are on the track, you have a right to be there.
Yeah.
And just because other people disregard that, it don't matter. Doesn't matter. Let them do their thing. They're probably children anyway. They're 14 years old and they're throwing a temper tantrum. At least I hope that's the case.
Yeah,
Yeah. I just posted the link to my Essential Racing Strategies playlist in case anyone hasn't seen that yet. There's 6 episodes out with 3 more in the works at the moment. So the first 3 are for E through C lobbies. The next set of 3 are for B rank drivers. And then the next 3 that we're working on now is for A rank drivers. So I think that that's a big thing. And you know, one of the things we sometimes do is have the person race in a lobby. I don't think we'll do that with you today necessarily. But I feel like that those are the principles that I used just to get to high B when I got there. Now, getting from B to A and staying in A was probably the hardest thing I ever had to do in this game, honestly.
Yeah, definitely.
It's really tough to do that. So I like what G says. He says you can be firm without being reckless. Yeah,
definitely.
And I think that's exactly what I mean by holding your ground. Just be where you are. You have the right to be there, you know?
Yeah, definitely. I do have an A account. Just I won't race it on the dailies. My Ebsgerb account is an A, but I won't race it on the dailies because I'm just too afraid that it'll go bye-bye.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah, once I got to A+, I did lose A+ a couple times, but now I seem to be firmly in there now for the last several months. Since like last fall, it seems like I've maintained it, and it's wild out there. There's a lot going on for sure, but I think that I think you got it in you. Like I see the pace. The pace is there. It's just a matter of replicating that pace when you're on track as close as you can, and be opportunistic. Really, as far as passing goes, people are going to gift you positions. They will on the regular basis. They're going to gift. They don't want to gift you. They're reluctant givers.
Yeah,
but they're doing it. You know.
Yeah, definitely. That makes sense because I feel like sometimes I'm being too nice and I'm the one gifting the position when I know I shouldn't. When I know I do belong there and I could actually stay there. But then I end up dropping back because I'm just afraid that, like, this person will turn towards me and get close enough that I'm so nervous by that point that I think they're going to hit me, that I'll hit my brakes thinking that they're just going to fly off into the grass, but that doesn't end up being the case.
Yeah, right. One thing that I mention a lot in the Essential Racing strategies is protecting the apex.
Yeah.
Is that something that you feel like you do, or not really?
It's what I try to do, but then the nervousness will kick in.
Okay. Okay, so when that nervousness kicks in, what ends up happening when you're...
I just end up giving up the position because I feel like it's better for me to give up the position at that point, because it's because I deal with a lot of dirty drivers, like we were saying earlier, because of the lobbies that I'm actually in. So I feel like if I just give up the position, they're going to make a mistake at some point and give me the opportunity to pass at that point. That's what I feel.
Yeah, if someone has the pace, you know, that's probably fine. But if you feel like your pace is pretty close, or maybe even you're a little bit quicker, but they're so aggressive that even their lack of speed, they're trying to make up for it by diving over and over again.
Yeah, exactly.
It's really quick. I gotta say, big thank you to Viking Gaming for the 5 gifted memberships. You studly man, you. Thank you so much, bud. It means a lot. A lot of good people received that too. That's great. J-Star says, I want a gifted membership. And yeah, G makes a good point. You know, if it's the last 2 laps of the race, and even if someone's behind you, defend. You know, protect that apex, honestly. Yeah. I won't I won't go into it all, but, you know, I do cover that on episode 2, especially, and episode 5 of Essential Racing Strategies.
Okay.
And
I'll have to go back and watch those again, too.
Okay. Yeah, because if you protect the apex, then if someone hits you, they might hit you still, but they hit you from behind.
Yeah.
If you do not protect the apex and you end up wider than them, you give them the opportunity for the dive, and then they hit you on the side of your car, which ends up pushing you wide, right?
Yeah, definitely.
And so if you protect the apex, you might not get hit at all because of how quick you are to the apex, or you might actually get hit, but it's kind of inconsequential because it's from the back, and maybe it launches you a little bit further, but you were already under braking anyway. So it doesn't affect your turn that much, you know?
Yeah, so, definitely.
Yeah, I think that's huge, man. I think that's super huge to success in the C and B rated lobbies. By the time you're B, you got to become a master at protecting the apex.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I think that's huge. So that's something that I would tell you to work on for sure.
Yeah, I think it's a mental game for me also too, because people will call me dirty and then I'll just feel bad about it because I'll feel like I was the one that actually made a mistake, and then someone will tell me, no, that wasn't on you.
Yeah. Yeah, so a lot of folks will misinterpret dirty for a mistake. They'll call something dirty that maybe was just not quite the right line. And honestly, if you maintain the racing lines even when you're following someone, you know, you are just going to be naturally quicker than someone who is driving tense and aggressive. And you really won't. That's something that I noticed in the last several months of me being in B-rated lobbies was if I just do my race and drive well within my limits. So I'm driving, you know, 80 to 90% of my capacity. And of course, you know, granted my pace is naturally faster than a B-rated driver. But so if I drop back, even if I drop back and I never get the fastest lap, right? I don't even try for the fastest lap. I just try to be consistent. I'm getting top 5 finishes every time.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm doing that from the back.
Yeah, definitely.
And people are just flying off track around me. You know what it is. Like they're just you go through one corner and there are 3 dead bodies over on the left side. You know, they're just, it's murders are taking place all over all the time. And so that's really like, you can just do so much by committing, being disciplining yourself to be aware of the surroundings and what's going on around you, but not focusing on it. Don't let that be your focus. Focus on what you know you need to do with the car.
All right.
It's going to make a huge difference. Going to make a huge difference in the dailies for you, I think.
Yeah, I think so. I need to start practicing that for sure.
And with your brake mod, you know, you have an advantage over a lot of folks too. You just need to be able to really maximize that trail braking. And I'll let you know now. So I got the True Brake mod from Wicked Quick.
Oh, cool.
He gifted that to us.
Wow, that's awesome.
You know, it took 2-3 weeks or so for me to get used to it. Yeah. But since I've gotten used to it, I never think I'm out of it when I'm side by side with someone. Never. Huh. I always feel like I can outbrake somebody. Now, I don't always execute, but I always feel like I have a chance. So whether I'm on the inside or whether I'm on the outside or whether someone is catching me, I never think I'm out of it. I always go for it. I always try, you know? And that might be some trial and error.
That's what I need to do, because that's where my biggest flaw is, I believe, is that I feel like if I try, I'm just gonna mess it up. But I know that I have enough confidence to do it, because I do it in lobbies all the time with my friends.
Yeah, right.
And I think I need to just change my way of thinking to just go for it.
Yeah, and it might get messy, and maybe someone thinks you're a dirty driver. And I've been called dirty a bunch of times for basically for making a pass. You know, I mean, exactly. Oh, I passed you. And now you think I'm dirty because I passed you. Some people just don't think being passed is dirty, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
And G is right. I'm not as aggressive as I could be. There are times when I do lack confidence, and so I'll back out sometimes. But I will say, you know, there are plenty of times under braking where I feel like I've got it. It's no problem. And I might not always hold it, but most of the time I feel like I do when I'm ready for it, you know. So I would say work on those things. I think you can improve. And as far as the pace goes, you know, remember what we went over at the beginning of our session, where there really is a lot of pace just in how you're braking. Remember how we're getting to that apex, and the fastest way to get there is by that trail braking method. We want to keep the outer tires loaded with the weight of the car. We don't want to load the tires, unload them, and load them again, which is basically how you were braking before.
Because that's not smooth.
No, not smooth. And so I think hopefully we got some of that rectified with your braking percentage. It definitely looked better here at Suzuka when we went over here. So I think that might be, but that's something to look out for sure. Real quick, before we say goodbye to you, Briggs, I just want to let everyone who's here know that if you're looking to do one of these sessions with me, which I see J-Star is in fact asking for that very thing, you don't have to be a streamer like I am. We do seem to have a lot of streamers come on, but you can just be a regular old GT7 lover. You can friend request me at leadpencil2017. That is my PSN. You can also join our Discord, which link is in the description for that. And we can get the conversation started. Right now, we still have about 5 people on the waiting list after Briggs. So you'll be put on the list. It's kind of we go in the order that we receive the requests. So go ahead and put that in there. If you don't mind, also message me in PSN that you're asking for it, because I get kind of a lot of those and I can't always keep track. But I do try to keep track as much as I can. I've almost forgotten some people because of that, and that's been sad. It was almost sad, I should say. So,
oh no.
So yeah, if you can message me in PSN letting me know, that's a real quick way for me to remind me to do that rather than, you know, in the middle of all of this. So, well, Briggs, I think having you here did not disappoint, sir. This was a whole lot of fun, man.
Yeah, definitely was. Thank you very much. It was awesome.
It was good. It was really good. I love it when I see folks you know, when I say a thing and you grasp it and then you go out and you execute it, it warms my heart. It brings a huge smile on my face, honestly. It's really,
definitely
really great. So, all right. Well, I think that's going to conclude our session for today.
Alrighty.
I'm going to go ahead and exit out of this and close the lobby. And appreciate you very much for spending the afternoon with us here, Briggs. And best of luck to you. Go practice those things we talked about. I'll look forward to watching one of your streams here, and follow up and see how you're doing. All right.
All right, sounds good.
Thank you, friend. Everybody.
Yep, thank you.
Yep, we'll see you later.
All right. See you next time.
Yes, indeed. All right. Bye-bye.
All right. Bye.
Everybody throw up a stud emoji for Briggs. He was an awesome, awesome guest. That was a whole lot of fun. Really was. Since I am remembering, I will go ahead, Jay, and put you on there, and let's see if I have a notification already. I do. There's J-Star right there. Okay, I accept. Oh, there's Sonic. Got you, Sonic. There's Jay. And Jay, I will put you on the list here. Yep. So yeah, Jay, you are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You are 6th on the list at the moment, and we try to do these once a week. So we're about a month and a half out, and sometimes schedules conflict, and I can't do someone. Then someone will get moved up. So that can happen as well. But that's where we stand. Hey there, Phil. Good to see you, friend. Good to see you, bud. Well, I don't know. It's kind of late. We're at 3:49. I see some friends have some things up, but I think I am gonna go ahead and call it a day. So my buds, I'm a little wiped after all that. A lot of talking, a lot of focusing. So I need to go replace the battery in my truck. I started that before the stream and I wasn't able to finish because I didn't have the right size socket, which was a bummer. I had to go out and buy it. But no, you're doing. I see. Yeah. No, I think I'm gonna call it for today, Phil. That's enough for me, I think. But I appreciate you guys very much. You guys have been awesome today. You all got your pencils out. Right there. And you did awesome. Thank you everybody who hung out, gave pointers, reminded me that the screen was froze, reminded me that I had the wrong screen. Appreciate the donations and the membership giftings today. That it really means a whole lot. It really does. We never charge a person for coming on Learn with Led. So you guys, with your generous donations, give it all there. So it's great. Yeah, I think that's gonna do it for me. So be prepared for a stream on Monday. We'll check out the dailies together. We'll see what PD has cooked up for us. Probably 3 streams next week is the idea. And yeah, it's good stuff. I love you all like mad. And there's not a thing you can do to change my mind. I'll see you about 52 hours. All right. See you guys. Bye.